Alright traders, hope you guys are doing well today. I want to go over a video called How I Blew Up My Trading Account and How You Can Avoid It. I really think this is going to benefit some of you. I wish I would have known some of these things going in to my offshore account, because here's the deal. Under the PDT, I was consistently profitable. I was successful. I was doing really well, and I thought, well, let me go offshore. Since I was trading so well, in which I was, I thought, okay, I'll go offshore to start making more money. But going offshore, I had to learn things that I was never taught. These are things I really want you guys to learn. I really want you to benefit from my mistakes. These are what I believe are the biggest day trading mistakes. Let's get into it. It's not just about the patterns. So when we all get into day trading, what are we all taught? We're taught the patterns. Just trade these and you'll be successful. We learn them in the textbooks and videos, which patterns are great and all, but I actually read this the other day, which I thought was interesting. Whether this is true or not, I don't know, but I suspect it could be true. It said take 100 day traders and have them all trade a certain pattern, let's say the ascending triangle. So they're all trading the ascending triangle pattern, and still more than half are going to come out not profitable, even if the ascending triangle pattern works. And that's not necessarily because we don't recognize and see the pattern and trade it. It's just because not all of us are managing our emotions, having that discipline, while in a trade. And my second bullet point here says, learning the pattern takes little time. There's a lot of patterns out there, and it won't take longer than, for me at least, it didn't take longer than probably half a year or a year. Just learn all the patterns, understand them, see them, recognize them as they're forming. But that's not the difficult part of trading, right? That's only half of it. And some would argue, and I might even would, that that's not even half of it. That might only be 30% of it, or 20 or 10%. The rest of it is really the majority of trading. And the third bullet point is learning to manage your emotions comes down to you. Probably why not a lot of people talk about this, because the experience with your emotions and discipline is not necessarily something you can teach, it's something that you experience. Experience is your best teacher as far as that goes. Let's go to the next bullet point. Emotions and discipline. These were my three biggest flaws when going offshore. These three were key in me blowing up my account. Our journey as day traders is not easy. In fact, it's very difficult, contrary to what some of the gurus or gurus would say, because it's 1v3, right? It's us versus not only the market, but other traders and ourselves. So what happened to me? When I was under the PDT at Thinkorswim, I grew an account. Granted, this is not a lot, but I was successful. 1,500 to 5,500 in a year is what I grew at TD Ameritrade, and that was with no margin, no leverage, just 1,500 to 5,500, having just 3 trades a week. It definitely wasn't easy. But when I went offshore and started trading at CMEG, it was very easy to blow up my account. It was very easy to blow up my account. It was not easy to have discipline, for those 3 trades and really focus, narrow my focus in on those 3 trades and making sure they're going to be the best trades that week. So what happened offshore? So offshore, I took the 5,500, down to a few $100 in a few months. It was not fun, guys. It was not fun. I was actually trading pretty well. I know you're surprised to hear that after I just told you I went from 5,500 to a few $100. But the thing is, I would have 2 weeks in a row that would be green, and then one day would wipe it all out. And I've heard of so many guys that have very similar stories, and it sucked. It definitely sucked, man. It's definitely one of the most defeating feelings that we're going to face. The thing is, we're going to grow a lot, with that. Trading is a lot like looking up a staircase. So we can't just look up and say, I want to be at the top one day. We actually got to take the steps necessary to get there. And sometimes we're going to, go back a step or two. And in my case, I might make it right near the top and then slip and fall all the way back down. But we're going to make it eventually, guys. Persistence is key when it comes to day trading. The 90% that don't make it, they end up just stop trading at some point in their lives. The 10% that make it, they just keep going and going and going and going. So if we're persistent, we persevere through this, guys, we're going to make it. Revenge trading, that was a key mistake in my trading. The red days I would have, I was like, okay, I got to make that back. I got to make some of it back. I got to turn this red day, make it green. A flaw that I had in my mindset was going offshore is I can trade a lot more. I can be a lot more flexible with my rules and very rigid in my expectations, which of course Mark Douglas says the contrary. He says you got to be rigid in your rules, flexible in your expectations. My rules became flexible. I was like, I'm just going to keep trading. I can trade all day if I want to. Well, I learned very quickly that was not working out for me. So how do we get around this emotion? We got to have rules in place, guys, and we got to respect that discipline. Allow for yourself 2 red trades a day maybe, and then cut it off. If you have 2 red trades in a row, cut it off and be done for the day. Whatever the rules may be, my point is just set rules in place for yourself before you start trading or going live, in an offshore account. Overtraining. Yes, I did this all the time. I just kept trading and trading and trading. Some days I'm embarrassed to say I'd have a couple $100 in commissions. Most of those days I'd be breaking even. Yeah, but is that worth it? I need to take the best trades possible in the morning and then just be done. And that's what I've been practicing recently on paper, is formulating my plan in pre-market. When the market opens, trade that plan. Don't trade my emotions. I stick solely to my plan, and then I'm done for the day. And that's it. And then thirdly is not predefining risk. And this is the biggest one in my opinion that not only me but most traders fail to do. And that is they don't predefine their risk. And if I'm not careful, I sometimes can do this as well. Before we ever enter a trade, we have to know exactly where we're going to cut our loss. And that's what I mean by that. Don't just ever get into a trade blindly thinking it's going to go up forever and then it just starts coming back down. You don't know where you're cutting at. You become a deer in headlights, end up blowing up your account. And oftentimes I really can see people blowing up their accounts just by looking at the chart. I see the momentum coming, the green candles are just going up, 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 up. People are buying at the very top. Then it starts pulling back down, fading on off the rest of the day. No one knows where to sell. They're like, I'm going to hold and hope it's going to turn around eventually, come back up, and I'll sell for a profit. It doesn't. They blow up their accounts. So please, guys, predefine your risk before you ever get into a trade. And that's the conclusion of the video. I only had 3 slides, but I really think this packs a big punch. I really hope this is beneficial for you guys. I really want my journey to be as beneficial to you as possible because I didn't have anyone who was doing live trading every day, who would show themselves taking losses, who was transparent and just honest, telling me my mistakes, what I can do better, etc., etc., etc. So I really hope this is helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave in the comment section below maybe some things you've been struggling with. We can all really help each other out, in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.